Do you live and breathe the beautiful game? Dream about the biggest soccer moments?
Or maybe you just want to hear some unfiltered takes from real fans like you.
Welcome to Futbol Unfiltered, where the passion for soccer knows no boundaries.
Meet your panel, Carl Phillip, JD, Yanel, and Coach. From the world's biggest matches to those unforgettable moments that made us fall in love with and the rising stars shaping soccer's future, you'll find it all here. Join us every week for Futbol Unfiltered, the bilingual soccer podcast that speaks your language, your passion, and your love for the game. Futbol Unfiltered, where soccer's heart beats louder.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Futbol Unfiltered. I'm your host, Carl Phillip. Tonight I have Alex. Welcome back, Alex. How you doing, man?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing really well. And then we got JD. He's back after a long hiatus, man. JD Sakafet.
Yeah, Nula. Happy to be here. Happy to be back. You know, it's been a couple of weeks, but I'm here back so we can have a chat on soccer as our, Sunday night rendezvous. Yeah.
Yeah. So before we we have a packed show tonight. Obviously, we're gonna be cover the Champions League. We're gonna cover the Champions League is great. The quarterfinal, just the first round of the quarterfinal ended last week, and we have next week coming. And also, we're gonna talk about the CONCACAF Magic, the comeback for Inter Miami, and of course, we're gonna kind of talk a little bit about the bigger leagues going on in the world right now. But before we get started, my man JD, had the pleasure to watch live the game between Argentina and Brazil. So we're not gonna go into the game since we already discussed this. But JD, what we wanted to get from you is the atmosphere, the environment. Because it was a big game on TV, but you were live. You were part of the history and the making and the rivalry. Can you tell us a little bit about the whole experience?
Oh, definitely, it was a great experience. But I can tell you from the get-go, I knew it was gonna be difficult for Brazil because this place is mythic. So it's like a temple of soccer, not just in Argentina. We're talking about the Monumental. You have almost 80,000 people that are there almost 2 hours before the game, screaming, chanting, and it's almost like when the Brazilian players got on the field for the pre-game session, it was like, whoa, for me, it's like, how are they gonna survive that environment? Because it's just crazy. You would think it's another Clásico between River Plate versus Boca, but it was like 10 times louder, and people were, and there were not that many of Brazilian fans in that stadium, as you can imagine, and the atmosphere, even when, for example, Rafinha got on the pitch, oh my God, it was crazy. It was crazy. So for me, it was a great experience, but I can tell you, it was a great night for Argentinian soccer, and the way they dominate the game from the get-go. As you can remember, even the first 2 minutes of the game, Brazil barely touched the ball. It was all Argentina from the start to finish. It was an incredible experience, and I'm surprised about the score. It could have been worse.
Right.
4-0 was Brazil was lucky with that score. So I can tell you, Argentina is a very strong side. Beside the crowd, the fans, the team itself, the coach, the Scaloni definitely managed this team very well. And I think it's going to be scary for 2026. You know, Argentina is the first team that qualified for that World Cup in South America. And I think they have, I was telling this right before the show that they can have three squad of teams that they can play. They have so much depth in that roster. I think Argentina is very scary.
Yeah. Donc, Joe, pour connaître en Haïti, Haïtien, mais Brésilien, mais Argentine. Donc, comment capable et lors un match ça, ou surtout dans match ça, comment capable et dire moun yo comment atmosphère là t'es, you know, et le bois, comment ça
Non, j'aime d'abord et son bail phénoménal pour regarder Argentine Brésil live et surtout dans Monumental là qui sont stades mythiques d'Azo, pas juste football argentin mais de football en général. Et j'aime d'abord avant moi-même personnellement qui ont une expérience dans jouer et dans stade des bails comme ça, je peux dire que son bail terrible. Moi-même pas ouais comment jouer Brésil, tu pas jouer match ça avec atmosphère ça. Parce que non seulement mon arrive de bonheur, il pas jamais camper chanter. Et il pas jamais camper chanter et équipe là
c'est pas ton racine violette,
non. Yo juste tout fait Brésil depuis que le match a commencé. Et j'aime dire là, moi, j'ai l'impression que joueur brésilien, yo sous terrain, mais les gars tremblé.
Ouais.
Là, il y a une atmosphère, ça, il y a 80 000 personnes qui ont fait bruit dans la tête. Et ça que vient, c'est que dans le fin match, je ne sais pas si vous ça, they were able trolling Brazil. Comme ça, dans le fin, ils ont même inventé, on chantait qu'on y a 1 minute of silence for Brazil. Côté dit silence, tout le stade là fait silence, et puis on recommence à chanter encore. Donc, son bail terrible. C'est vraiment une belle fête.
Ouais.
Même le match est fini, et on va qui était étonnant, et pas de pile police dans la rue. Parce que pas besoin il y a des autres qui fêtent, parce que tellement de gens sont contents.
Ouais.
Donc, même une équipe ça, Jean-Mouel là, et Argentine ça, j'aime t'absent là, il y a fait n'importe 3 équipes. Tellement il y a des gens et qui pour jouer pour eux. Et même avec Espagne, définitivement, c'est l'équipe qui soit regardé dans ça, n'a regardé jusqu'à l'année ça, c'est l'équipe qui est au pied d'un joueur pour la Coupe du Monde qui
Et puis, équipe argentine, pas de Messi, Lautaro, Bernatino, Dybala. En tout cas, on pas quelle bonne équipe à jouer match parce que t'es
ou bien t'es un problème, mais ça m'a dit c'est que yeah, that was really scary.
Yeah. So hey, we got a newest guest, Carlos. Carlos, how you doing?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Good. Actually, Joe was explaining the experiment. So actually, Joe went to watch Argentina and Brazil play in the last qualifier. So he didn't have a chance to tell the audience the atmosphere. I told him that we're not gonna go into the games since we already covered that last time, and we don't want to bring some bad memories for the Brazilian fans anyway. So we asked him, to describe to us, the atmosphere, the experience. I mean, I got to watch Argentina and Brazil play live in 2012. But that was a friendly game. I can't even imagine how big that was, especially being in Argentina. And also, it was a game that had meanings, right? It was a World Cup qualifier. So anyway, Joe, thank you for sharing with us and also with the audience. How the atmosphere was. So we hope to see more of that. So hopefully, we all can go and experience that in the World Cup. And next year. So let's move on to big things. So obviously this past week we had the first round of the quarterfinal and we had some interesting scores. So I'm gonna bring it for the audience here. So obviously we had Arsenal beating Real Madrid 3-0. Inter Miami. I say Inter Miami. Inter Milan beat Bayern 2-1. PSG beat Aston Villa 3-1, and Barcelona cruised against Dortmund with 4-0. So before we get started, so obviously we're gonna start with the first game we have on the list with Arsenal. Let me bring that out. So, did Arsenal shock the world? So I'm gonna start with Alex first.
Well, I don't think they shocked the world, but I mean, they kind of did in a sense because we see Real Madrid, they're the champions, and they're coming out with all this energy. They're like, okay, we have one goal, we're going to beat Arsenal. And then Arsenal come out of nowhere. Declan Rice scores 2 free kicks, and
Yep.
that's it. Since the first free kick, Real knew, oh my gosh, we're done. We're not winning it. And then they were just defeated. And Arsenal, since that free kick, they just got momentum and started scoring 2 more. And that was amazing.
Yeah. So since you're talking about the free kick, I'm gonna try to bring it up here. Give me a second here.
Maybe.
Hang on a second.
There we go. That's the first one. Curling free kick. Now, oh my God, Thibaut Courtois was
Yeah.
Yeah.
amazing. Save after save. Actually, could have been worse if you think about it. I think he was the best player for Real Madrid, and
It could have been so much worse if he wasn't playing
yeah,
this match.
Kamavinga again.
Yeah.
Playing aggressively and committed the foul.
Mm.
This,
Oh,
Mm.
boy. That reminds me of Messi free kick against Liverpool. Yeah.
Yeah. Liverpool.
what a strike, By the way, I think this guy is amazing. Started as a midfielder and now playing as a forward, as a striker, by default, basically, and then playing that type of game. I think Arsenal was really great.
So, coach, let me talk to you now. So, what do you think went wrong? Did you get a chance to watch the game?
I did. Yeah, I did.
So, what went wrong for Real Madrid? I mean, obviously, we saw that foul from Camavinga. So, what went wrong in that game?
Well, I don't know. I mean, outside of that, I don't know if it's something specifically that we can say that went wrong for Real Madrid, other than I felt like their key players in Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo and the guy and Mbappe, they were neutralized. They didn't do anything, and I felt like Arsenal. I mean, we have to remember. I mean, Arsenal has had under Arteta they've had a great year, and I think they came into that game with a lot of confidence. They didn't show fear. They pressed high. They were exposed a couple of times, but the players that are expected to perform and expected to produce, they didn't produce. So I mean, I think it's a combination of things. I think it's a combination of Arsenal came in, they played with confidence. They didn't play with fear. I think a lot of times people that play against Real Madrid, they come in, they play with a sense of fear, to deny space and to deny goals first, and then maybe work in counterattacks. Arsenal played with a lot of confidence. They played with a lot of confidence. It's the same. I don't know if any of you guys heard this or not, but I had read someplace that Arteta had talked with Guardiola before the game. He called him and he talked with him. Yep, he talked with him. And so I'm sure that those guys had strategized a little bit. And you also have to remember, I mean, I'm sure that these guys have watched the way that Barcelona played against Real Madrid in their last fixture that resulted in a very positive way for Barcelona. And I felt like Arteta and Arsenal played very similar to the way that Barcelona played in that high line press. They didn't give them a chance to get their heads up a lot. And I think that with the combination of those key players not performing, I agree with what you guys had said already, and that I think that Courtois was probably their best player. I mean, that game could have, if he didn't make those saves, could have easily been 4-5-0. So now they have to go back to the Bernabeu. That's going to be interesting, but they're going to have to really outperform, I think, Arsenal in order to advance.
So, Joe, I'm glad that Coach kind of mentioned Bernabeu. So, you watch the game multiple times in the Bernabeu. So, how tough it will be for Arsenal to go and play that game on Wednesday?
No, I think it's going to be very, very tough for Arsenal to play. Actually, if you follow the news, there's so many preparation. For example, they plan to close the how you call that, the top of the stadium, the roof of the stadium, for 6 hours before the game, and then they plan to play a motivational video for the players so they can be ready. So I think they're thinking about remontada. And like you mentioned, the Bernabeu it's a crazy place. If there's one place where Real Madrid can come back from a game like that, from the deficit, I think it's in the Bernabeu with the fans, with the ultras, the like they say, the aficionados. I think they really have a chance. But I wanted to go back to one thing that Coach Carlos said is the high press of Arsenal. I think that was the big surprise for Ancelotti. They were not prepared for that high press. And then looking at Declan Rice playing as a high pivot, if I can say that, Coach, I don't know if that's correct because usually a pivot, they can attack and then they can drop back. But he was a very high pivot and he was distributing, like, people may be focusing just on the free kicks. But if you look at the whole game that he played, that was something amazing. And I think there's a chance for Real Madrid to come back. They have the roster, they have those superstars, they have the mythic place where the game will be played, but they have to be careful. Instead of a remontada, it may be worse, because if you look at the last two second leg games of Arsenal, the score against PSV was 7-1, right? So I think Arsenal has a chance to go to the semi-final. But I have to say, this team has shown consistency in the past. And this weekend, for example, their draw against Brentford, telling me like, hey, maybe Real Madrid has a chance. So I think it's going to be a great game. So it's, like you mentioned, Bernabeu is a crazy place. So just being in that stadium, it's like you being in a box and it's closed. I think for me, it's one of the best stadiums in the world. And I think definitely they have a chance.
Yeah. So it's funny to me, right? When you watch the game and then you watch the free kick, I kind of mentioned that that free kick, the second one, kind of remind me of the free kick that Messi scored against Liverpool. So it kind of remind me the same game, right? So Barcelona beat Liverpool 3-0 at home. And Liverpool went back and beat them 4-0 and then move on. So when I'm looking at this game, so I always said it's easy to score 4 goals on a team than to score 5 goals on the team. So I think that Arsenal should get one more should have got one. It's like Barcelona. If Dembele would have put that goal away, there was no way that you were gonna beat Barcelona 5-0 on the road, right? So, but it's easy to score 4 goals against a team. So that's where I was just like, it's kind of tricky. They should have put. They will try to score as many goals they can put against Real Madrid, because I think that Real Madrid can go ahead and beat them 4-0. So, but like I said, it has to be the first 20 minutes of the game is gonna be very crucial to see what's gonna happen in the first 20 minutes, because it can decide how the game's gonna go. But
So
like I said, as soccer fans, I'm excited, right?
I've been excited for this coming week since last week. I can't wait to see how things are going to turn out. But I agree with both of you guys. I mean, going back to the Bernabeu, playing against Real Madrid, I mean, they're champions. I mean, these guys have proven that they are champions. I mean, I think they've got more European championships than anybody else. I mean, they're just they're so good, and they're not going to take this lightly. I'm sure Ancelotti's getting them prepared. Now, the biggest question is, does Arteta go into that match? Does Arteta go into that match low press and denying the space, or high pressing like they did in the game? And those are the things that I'm just so anxious to see what they're going to do. Because I mean, let's be honest. I agree with Joe. I mean, Declan Rice. Yeah, we look at his free kicks, and his free kicks were magical. Of course, I mean, very Messi-esque. I mean, loved the way that those were amazing free kicks. But he caused a lot of chaos up front, playing high. He created a lot of opportunities. I mean, a lot of those saves that we're talking about that Courtois made, I mean, was as a result of Declan Rice getting on the end of the ball and creating things. And so, but it's going to be difficult, because Madrid they are not going to, they don't give up, man. I've never seen a team that makes more winning goals in the 88th minute and later than any other team. It's crazy. And thankfully that these guys had 3. They did put 3 on them. It's better than 1-0 or 2-0. But you can't give up on Real Madrid, man. They are, they're gonna bring everything.
So we need to call Arteta to see if we can give Frank Courtois a 10-day contract, because he said that if he's playing, there was no way that they're gonna score on Arsenal. So, Frank Arteta, if you listen to us, we got a guy Frank here. He's a little bit older. he still can do it. It still can do it. So we need to get Frank out so he can defend. So this
bring him out of retirement. Bring him out of retirement.
Yeah, maybe 30 years ago. Maybe 30 years ago. Well, this is great. This is what this show is about. We're having fun. So we want to ask the audience, who you think gonna move on? Is it Arsenal or Real Madrid? So we can't wait to see it. So Frank, keep having those comments coming, man. We love it. So let's move on. Let's move on to the next one, which is Barcelona, right? So Barcelona was a cruise control. I know that's Alex's favorite team. So we're gonna start with Alex first.
Actually, I'm a Real Madrid fan, but
I know you're a Real Madrid fan. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I know. But
that's why I said that Barcelona is your favorite team. So, what'd you take?
I feel the game versus Dortmund was just Barcelona all the way. Dortmund, they didn't come close. They didn't even try. I'm not gonna lie, it was just Barcelona. And as they scored those goals, it was just they just kept coming and coming and coming. After Rafinha scored his goal, Lewa scored 2 goals, and then after that, Lamine Yamal at the 77th minute. That's just crazy. And that's only 3 people scoring. And they were able to just keep the goals coming in on Dortmund, and they didn't give Dortmund a chance to equalize. So like we were saying that 3-0 is a big deal. Well, 4-0 is even bigger of a deal because this will be very hard for Dortmund to adjust to. And we already know Barcelona, they're not just good at home, they're also good away. So
Yeah.
they might just keep the goals coming. We might even see another 4-0. I mean, this Barcelona team has evolved. We're seeing like this team is just so much better. Like it's just so much better. And not just in La Liga, it's in the UCL too, and it's a
Yeah.
perfect Barcelona team.
Coach, what you think, man? What'd you see? What'd you see in the first leg?
Hey, I tell you what, I have to agree with the young man that I think this is probably about some of the best football that I've seen Barcelona play in a long time. I mean, they seem to have just an amazing rhythm right now. I love watching them play. I mean, I'm a Barcelona fan anyways, but Hansi Flick has done a phenomenal job taking the style and adding something to it. So I really enjoy. I do disagree a little bit with a couple of things. Dortmund did have me nervous a couple of times, because we play such a high final line, and there was a couple of times where we had to defend against them very well. I don't know if they've got what it takes to score 5 on us. I'll be honest with you, and again, I agree with Alex. I think we've got one of the best records on the road as well. So in Barcelona, so it's going to be very, very difficult, I think, at this point. And I also was very happy that we put as many goals as we did on them. But Dortmund would have to they would have to have close to a perfect game, and we would have to basically go to sleep, I think, in order to see ourselves out of the semifinals. So, but again, I think that key components for Barcelona right now. I mean, outside of Lamine Yamal and Rafinha, they've got so much artillery on the flanks. You've got Lewandowski that's putting balls in the back of the net again, but guys like Pedri and some of the other younger guys. You got Gavi that's healthy now, and he's able to put some time in. And Nico Martinez, man, has looked great. Oh my God, he had some great saves against Leganes. He's looking good. You got Kobarsi, you got Araujo, who's healthy again. I mean,
Denny Homo is also healthy too. So
he's healthy too. Oh yeah,
it should
man.
be available on Tuesday. So JD, what's your take? What's your take on that one?
I think I agree with all that you guys just said. And Barcelona is cruising in control, and Flick team is different from the squad. They are disciplined, and I think passing Dortmund will be I would not say easy, but for me that would be very difficult for Dortmund to come back. Even though they're playing at home, that's another great stadium that I have been. That's crazy too in Dortmund, the Signal Park. It's a great place with great atmosphere, but I don't think Dortmund stand any chance coming. One thing I want to say about Barcelona, it's amazing to me how this year they're very close to have another, and not only having, but
Yeah, we can hear you. We lost you for a minute.
Yeah, I was saying that it's amazing to me how Barcelona is very close this year to have another treble. Not only having the treble, but having 3 players on the podium of the Ballon d'Or. Because maybe 4 first places. So
It looks like we're having some bad connection
Yeah.
with JD. But before we get JD, we have one of fans. He said that Real Madrid's gonna win. So obviously that's a Real Madrid fan. So I got that. So before we get JD back, so my take on it. The only thing I think that you guys are everybody's right. I think that Barcelona is on the driver's seat. Uh, but here's the thing that I saw with Barcelona, especially over the weekend. They look like a tired team. So they've been playing a lot of games, and as they play a lot of games in short period of time. So when you see that, especially when I watched the game against Leganes on yesterday, they look very, very, very tired. So when you very fatigued, you go to a game like that, the opportunity to get injured is very high. So and then your lack of attention to details also can take you can surprise you. So hopefully, I mean the team is deep. I mean, and just like we were saying, having Danny Homo back and also have that kind of depth that Barcelona, I think they have enough to get by. But one thing that I feel like it's very worrisome for him. It's you can see that the fatigue is getting to him. So there were times yesterday during the games they were not moving at all. Those guys were not moving, and they got lucky. They got lucky that the game was only 1-0. I mean, the team has so many opportunities to equalize against Barcelona. There was one time they equalized, but it was the offside. But you can tell that fatigue start. I mean, they're competing. They're playing Copa del Rey. And then think about it. They play Copa del Rey against Atletico Madrid. So that was a very physical game. And then play on Sunday, play on Saturday, and then play against Dortmund, and then play Leganes. Now, I mean, you can see that fatigue is start creeping in on the team. So they're professional, they're young, they can recover faster than everybody else. But that's one thing I think that the coach needs to pay close attention is because they're playing a lot of games in very, very quick turnaround. That month of April and May is gonna be brutal for Barcelona and also Real Madrid. Well, good. JD, you good now? Is it still okay?
Yeah, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh,
So
okay.
one thing I want to add, since we were talking about Real Madrid, I mean not Barcelona. Yamal keeps making history. So he's one of the youngest scorers in Champions League quarterfinal. So how good is Lamine Yamal, and is he on the cusp to run to win the Ballon d'Or this year? I'm gonna start with you, Alex.
I think he is. I think Lamine Yamal this year he might win the Ballon d'Or. Also, there are some other people who I think could win it, like Mbappe, and but it's still gonna be if he wins the Champions League, he may have a better chance of winning the Ballon d'Or. Also, like we said for Mo Salah after he lost the Champions League, we were saying, oh yeah, he's probably gonna win the Ballon d'Or. But now I don't think so anymore, and I think the opportunity is for Lamine Yamal. I mean, he has so many assists, so many goals. He's on a winning team, and when you're on a winning team like that, you win, and you don't just mess up on awards and opportunities like that. And I think this year is his chance. If not this year, maybe next year. But he is definitely one of the favorites to win the Ballon d'Or this year.
So right now, the player from Barcelona that is leading the odds to win the Ballon d'Or is Rafinha. So,
Yeah.
but like you said, it's still early, so we'll see what's gonna happen. So, Coach, how good is Yamal?
Phew. He's the kid is good. I mean, he is. I would not put him. I would not put him on the same level as Messi. I think that comes along every 50 years or something like that. But he keeps getting better. So who knows? I feel like at 17 years old, I mean, he just keeps getting better. His awareness, his confidence. I was watching. I think it was against Leganes. They were talking about how the team, how they respond to him. And I mean, to the point where now, he's giving direction, or and they're listening. So they all respect him, as a player. Um, I think sometimes a little bit. There's been a couple of times, and again, I don't want to generalize this because he does have a lot of assists and he's very unselfish with the ball when he needs to be. But I've noticed, like in the last couple of games, there's been opportunity for him to put the ball across. I think it was in the last Champions League game, and he decided to try to hit it near post. And I've noticed that a couple of times where he's been trying to hit it near post. So maybe he's feeling the bug a little bit, where he wants to score some goals, and there's nothing wrong with that. In his position, he should want to do that. But I just feel like I feel like the kid is quality. I feel like he's getting better. I think that we're witnessing greatness. I don't want to get too ahead of myself and say that and compare him to anybody else at this point. I think that hopefully they're doing a good job of that, managing the locker room. I'm glad that he's not wearing the number 10. I feel bad for Ansu Fati because I feel like that's probably the biggest thing that has been with him wearing that number 10 on the back. It brings a lot of pressure, especially in Barcelona. So I'm glad that they're taking it slow and letting him play, letting him be free, letting him express himself on the field. But I think that as far as the Ballon d'Or, I think that we'll see him. I think we'll see him winning some. I don't know if it'll be this year, but I think we're going to see him winning some during his career. He's going to be winning some Ballon d'Ors. So how many? Who knows? But I also agree with Alex. I mean, with the amount of success that they're having, they have the potential to win the treble. I think even possibly a fourth because they've already won the Supercopa. Now they're looking at the Copa del Rey, they're looking at the Champions League and the La Liga. So potentially 4 trophies that they can win. We'll see what happens. But also on the national level too. I mean, Spain, I think, is number 2 in the world right now, according to the FIFA rankings. I think he's doing well there. He's producing. So yeah, I think both for club and for country, if they start winning some, I mean, this kid could be one of the great ones for sure.
So Ale Levy, he could make it tonight, but he also said that Yamal is better than Messi was at his age. And then
At this age.
yeah, and Frank said that Yamal is the best young player in the world. So all right, JD, what's your take on Yamal?
No, I think the future is bright for this kid. I would not say is the undisputed best player in the world. I would not say that, but it certainly is a contender for the Ballon d'Or. But like I was saying before, when you take Barcelona, you have Pedri, you have Rafinha, Lewandowski. All of them are great players that are contenders this year for the Ballon d'Or. And I cannot imagine if Barcelona wins the treble, not to see one of these guys on the podium. So definitely, I think Yamal, is a great contributor to Barcelona's success this year. Like Coach was saying, he's calling the shots. Actually, imagine you have a team where you have players like Lewandowski, Koundé, Martinez, who are like twice his age, and then he's the one calling the shots. Actually, one thing I can tell you, he makes Kunde look like a great right back. Right back just because the way he plays. He set up the game. So he's an amazing kid, but I think we don't want to jinx it. Also, we have to wait, and I think definitely he will win the Ballon d'Or. Maybe not this year, but many Ballon d'Ors in the years to come.
Yeah, so I agree with you guys. He's It's not funny that I kind of talk about Rafinha is leading the odds to win the Ballon d'Or. Imagine Rafinha winning the Ballon d'Or before Neymar. This is crazy. This is crazy to say. But go to the next one. So JD is rocking his PSG shirt right now. So is PSG the solid threat? So we're gonna start with you, JD.
PSG, I think, is the team to beat this year in the Champions League and in Europe. And the reason is because this team is not based on one superstar player, it's a collective. And it's a collective, and they have a great coach in Luis Enrique. And this team, they already won the Ligue 1 very early in April, and they're in the final of the Cup of France. And definitely, I think they will pass Aston Villa to go to the semifinals. And I think the secret is in the pudding. You have like a great coach, and you have some amazing talents that unfortunately people are not paying too much attention to, like Doué, for example. Great talent. He reminds me of Neymar at his early age. You have Barcola, you have Vitinha, you have Pacho in the back. So when you look at the collective, it's amazing. And I think, like you mentioned, if there's one team to beat this year in the Champions League, it is PSG. And I have to say, among the teams that we have, the 8 teams that are left in the Champions League, only 3 of them have not won the cup. So it's PSG, Arsenal, and what's the other one?
Dortmund.
No, Dortmund won in 1997, but Aston Villa, they haven't won that cup. They won in Europe in 1982, but since the change that they made in 1992, yeah, Aston Villa has that. But I think Arsenal, PSG, and Aston Villa are the 3 ones that have not won in that format. And I think PSG this year. I'm sorry.
I was saying the new Champions League rebranding.
Yeah. So rebranded since 1992. So I think PSG, this might be the year where they finally win this title, and that would be amazing. Since we know not too long ago they had Messi in that team, they have Neymar, they have Mbappe, and they couldn't make it. So I think it's not even a silent threat anymore. I think this is the team to beat this year in Europe this time.
Yeah. Coach.
Yeah, so I agree with Joe. I think that when I watch PSG play, I see a collective unit, and I think that's what's going to make it most difficult for teams playing against them. But I think the only thing that I see that might work against them is that the Ligue 1, I don't believe is as competitive as a league, as what as La Liga or the Premier League. And so right now, I mean, they're playing against Aston Villa. I mean, not a bad team. I think everybody at this point they're there for a reason, but they do have some threats. And I believe that Vitinho has been looking really good. I mean, he plays all over. He creates develops a tempo for the team. Has been very successful with that, and they've got some young talents that can. And what's the guy's name? The one up top. I can't remember his name, but he's a finisher. Yes,
Do it.
and then no.
Mhm.
Dembele.
Oh, Dembele.
You have the no, you have Dembele, but then you also have
Oh,
man,
which one?
Do it.
Kvaratskhelia?
yes, it starts with a K.
Yeah, Kvaratskhelia.
Kvaratskhelia.
Kvaratskhelia. Oh yeah,
Yeah, I like
that's a
him.
great player. He's
I like
having an
him.
amazing season.
He's having an
Yeah,
amazing season. And then you have the young kid, like you just said,
do
it
it.
starts with a D. Yes, I like that kid, man. He's also young, and I think he's a talent. So I mean, I think that we have to be careful. But if we look at the brackets, right, I believe that it would be PSG and either Arsenal and Madrid, right? And then on
Yeah,
the other side would be Barcelona and Inter, right? On the other side.
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
So I feel, now anything can happen, but I feel grateful that we're on that side because
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I mean, I mean, Inter, I mean, it's been doing okay, but I believe that I don't know, man. I think that I don't know. Anything can happen at this point, and I think that's the only thing that I believe that might maybe work against them in PSG is just that um, in terms of the league that they play in, even though they they they've already secured the championship for Ligue 1, it's not as competitive as what you'll see in some of the other leagues, and so
Yeah,
maybe down the road that might that might that might
bite them.
yeah, a little bit. But I do agree that, I mean, working on all cylinders, man, these guys look really good, and they are the team to beat right now. I mean, they're kind of like it says right there, PSG, the silent threat. They're kind of the silent threat. I think everybody's been kind of underestimating them. Maybe for that reason, maybe not. I don't know, but and they're very well coached. I mean, I love Luis Enrique. Man, he's got them playing very, very well right now. So it's going to be
So
interesting.
yeah, good. So Alex, you've been high on PSG since day one. So I know when everybody was screaming, talk raving about Liverpool and stuff like that, you were very, very high on PSG. So do you still feel that way? Do you still feel see him going all the way?
Yes, I do. And I think many years in the past, PSG, they've just bought the best players and then tell them to play. And like they've just got players like Mbappe, Messi, Neymar, Zlatan, Ronaldinho, and they just never succeed. And I think this year is the year because they finally have a humble team, a team not too selfish, not too prideful, a team more humble, and they are able to work as a team. They can all have their part in the game. And I think that's been a key to their success because you can't just buy a bunch of the best players in the world and they have no chemistry whatsoever and tell them to work together. And
Correct.
I feel like that's what they've been doing. And now they finally fixed that problem. That's why they've
Yeah.
come so far. And this year, you've seen the chemistry in the midfield more than other years. Other years, you've been seeing like the top three forwards, and that's it. The back is solid, not too solid. And then the midfield is just garbage. There's no one good in the midfield. Now we have Kvaratskhelia, we
Vitinha,
have Vitinha, and we have who else?
Ruiz,
Who else in the
Ruiz.
yeah, Fabian
Ruiz,
Ruiz.
Fabian
And
Ruiz.
now we have a more compact team. The team can play together, make plays that help. And especially the leadership of Dembele is helping them because he's not just playing Dembele. He's also able to adjust to different positions
Correct.
as like able to guide Due and Kvaratskhelia, and
Bacola.
he's
Bacola.
Kvaratskhelia
Hmm.
and Barcola. And Kvaratskhelia, I saw his goal. It was spectacular. He's very
Yeah.
shifty. He just in and out. He's back, and then now he's not, and then he's
That's
just
true.
like. And he scored that goal near post against Emiliano Martinez. And I
Oh.
feel like I was watching that game, and I looked at Emiliano's face, and he had the Argentinian flag on his head, and he was like, he just looked so foolish. The way he was just like he was just playing around with him like a toy, and it was just crazy. And we
No, that was
saw
crazy though.
Nuno Mendes comes out of nowhere in the 90 something minute. He comes in, fake shots Emiliano with his defender in front, and he just scores it in the back. And you know, a fullback scoring a goal like that on you is just insane. And I don't see any coming back from that. That is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
I think PSG, they're going through. They're Aston Villa. They're not. I don't think they can make it against PSG.
Yeah.
Good. I think Alan is drinking his haterade tonight. He just hating everywhere, man. You can see him smiling and then typing this. Yep, he always looked like that. But that was a
That's
good
true.
example, Alex. So all right. So we talk about PSG. We talk about Real Madrid, Arsenal. We talk about Barcelona. What about Inter? Are they currently the Europe's scariest team because they've been there before, and then they just getting it done. I mean, they just beat Bayern. So what about Inter? Are they Europe's scariest team right now? So we talk about Arsenal. They did really well in the first quarter, right? We talking about Barcelona on cruise control. I mean, PSG is the silent threat because they don't come with the fanfare with the Real Madrid and the Barcelona. But what about Inter? Are they the Europe scariest team? So let's start with you, coach.
Well, you make a really good argument because Bayern is not easy to beat. They are not easy to beat, and the one thing that I see in Inter is it's the old school man, Italian football, man. It's like they're just they just do what they need to do to get it done, man. Defensively, they're organized. They do just what they never give up. They're relentless in the box, and yeah, I mean, we've got to. I think we've really got to think about that. I mean, Inter Milan has a lot of passionate supporters. They're a passionate organization. Um, I don't know, man. Unless Byron comes back and takes care of business, because I'm still a little bit shocked by the fact that with who Byron has, that Inter Milan was able to secure the result, but they got to be ready. They got to be ready because Bayern's going to come back, and they're going to come back in a strong way. And I don't want to say that Inter's definitely in. You never know what could happen, but either way, whoever comes out of that group, I think is going to be it's going to be tough for whoever ends up playing them for sure.
JD.
Hey, I think Inter Milan definitely has the case right now as one of the scariest team in Europe. If you look at it, they may not be the flashiest team, absolutely, but when you see their tactical identity, the work that Simeone Inzaghi has put in place, it's like a crafted machine, very solid in the back, especially that center back, Bastoni, that people don't pay attention. I think for me is the best center back in the world right now, and people are not paying attention to it. Their goalkeeper as well, Sommer, is really good. He's not flashy, but very consistent. When you look at the midfield, they have that Turkish guy, Kalanoglu, yeah, very, very that play as a regista. He's really good. And in the attack, you have Lautaro Martinez. He's having the form of his life. people are not paying attention. And Turan, also very physical, technical, unselfish. I think we can make the case that this team, remember, like you mentioned, they were there before. They were finalists in 2023, and this season they're making a case not just for the Champions League. I think with Barcelona is the other team that can make a treble this year. They're also in good position in the Serie A and also in the Coppa Italia. So definitely, I think this is a scary team, and I would be surprised if they go all the way this year.
Yep, I agree. Alex?
Well, me personally, I just to start off, I think that Italian football in the Serie A is one of the best type of football I've seen. It's just the physicality, the passing, the connections made, the tiki taka type football is just what I love to see. And Inter Milan playing in this league does not mean that they're not going to be bad. They are the best, one of the best teams. And just looking at this team, if you see Inter Milan running after you with the ball in your hands, you're going to be terrified. I mean, if you look at this team, these players are so physical. It doesn't matter if they're forwards, if they're center backs, they're just very physical. And I feel that is where Bayern Munich was not ready, because Bayern Munich are not used to that type of football. Well, for the most part. And they just saw this Inter Milan team just rip them. And they were coming in with the ball, and they were just fantastic. I saw one of their goals, I think it was the last or the second goal, and it was just like the passing from the players was just great. And then they came in and then got a tap in at the end, and it was just so electric. And that's what I love about Inter Milan. And we're not just gonna rule out Bayern Munich, because what I saw is they are still in this. They're not just, they it's not like it's a 4-0 lead. And Bayern Munich can still change it around. Don't forget, they were playing away. So they still can make this, and especially if they have Gerard Muller. I mean, the guy, this is what you call a super sub. He comes in and he just scores. He comes in in the sub. He's a sub, and he comes in and he scores. And he's just a beast. And he's like, I thought he was retired. Like he should be retired, but he's still there. And he's still playing like he's a monster. And he's not that special. There's nothing about Gerard Muller that is extremely special. He's just such a good player.
Crafty.
Yeah, he's just crafty, like he's just always there, and then he just scores out of nowhere. He's like, oh, Gerard Muller was playing. Really? Wow, I didn't notice. And then he's just that type of player. He's just a beast. Comes in at like the 90th minute and he'll score. Like he's just that guy. And with him playing for Bayern, I think they can still make something out of this. And I think they can still get something out of Kane still, but it might be tough.
Yeah, they're still in it. They're still in it. And like you said, Muller is one of those guys, man. He gave me a lot of nightmare, even playing for Germany and Bayern. So this guy is a problem. It's very problematic for me. So, but anyway, he's a great player. I have a tons of respect for him, and I think he can change the game at any given time. So now, but good. So we went from one Inter to another one. So we had what we call the CONCACAF Magic this Wednesday with the Inter Miami comeback. So I'm gonna start with you, JD, because you were actually covering the game. What can you say about the 37-year-old Messi?
I'm glad you say that because I had the chance to cover that game and to be at the post game conference, and I did ask that same question to both coaches. And it's amazing to me that Messi, who's 37 years old now, he's playing like a kid who's 20. So he doesn't want to lose. He's fighting. He's all over the place, even kicking players. So, we so used to Messi walking on the pitch all the time. But in Inter Miami, he's dropping back, helping the defense and doing all type of this work. So again, going to the game, LAFC was like 1-0, and then they scored early, like at the 9th minute in the second leg, and then I thought that was it. So there's no way Inter Miami could have come back from this game. But with Messi on the pitch, everything is possible, and it showed that it showed that brace and put them now in the semifinal. That was electric. That was electric to see the energy. And I think the scarier part for me is not just this game, is the World Cup coming. Because I think for me, it's almost like a secret. It's like an Argentinian secret. We're gonna breed Messi in Inter Miami with Javier Mascherano. We're gonna time, his play and making sure he's ready. But if Messi can play like that in that World Cup, I think that Argentina will be very scary. And again, now I can see easily Inter Miami going all the way in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Might be another title. Imagine every year Messi now will win a title for Inter Miami. In 2023, he gets the Leagues Cup. In 2024, the supporters shield, and now the CONCACAF. So this guy, again, I don't know how you can write a better story about a soccer player, but Messi for me is like, he's football. That's all I can tell you. And I had the chance to be at that conference, like I told you, and Mascherano was saying, it's nothing to say. The LAFC coach, what's his name, Shoandolo, he was saying, hey, he's just the best in history. What do you expect? What do you expect? So it's Messi. So again, I'm happy for Miami. I'm happy to see Inter Miami going through. And then, like I said, they're on the way to win the CONCACAF Cup. What can I tell you? It's Messi.
I think it's the hair.
Coach,
What's
It's the
that?
hair. It's the
What's
hair.
that?
They say
It's
let's
the
not
hair.
get too much of her now, JD.
What's that?
It's the hair because
say,
I think
let's not get too much
he's in
ahead
his
of
prime
ourselves
mode
now.
with the hair right now. He's giving me 2018 vibes. When he had his hair out, he grew his hair, and he was playing against Liverpool. That's the vibes I'm getting from him right now with the longer hair.
Yeah.
He's
Hey,
going prime.
Coach, what you
Yeah,
got? What you take of Messi performance against LAFC?
I don't think that there's anything that this guy can achieve. I mean, we talk about the GOAT, man. I mean, it's interesting. I grew up in an era, and I know that JD and Carl can agree with this. Alex, you were not even around when this was happening, but when Diego Armando Maradona was playing, I mean, I still think about the way he plays, and I feel goosebumps, and that was nothing but poetry in motion. And I can sit there and I can watch clips of him playing today, every day, all day. But let me tell you something. What Messi has achieved is just, I don't think that there's anything I don't think that there's anything that's impossible.
Mhm.
I mean, I know, Carl, we've talked about this a little bit. You talk about, well, he's looking a little tired. He's looking a little slow, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but he's 37 years old and he's still achieving these things. And yeah, of course, we get older and our bodies change, and we're not going to be able to play like, when we were, 25, 20s, right? But he adapts. This guy adapts. And a lot of people can say, well, he's playing in the MLS, but the MLS is still pretty competitive. I mean,
Very.
yeah, it's very competitive. We're saying that, it's this or it's that, or he's looking like this, he's looking like that. But the bottom line, and we talked about him playing with Argentina again. The bottom line is that this guy, and Alex talked about vibes, right? He's giving me the vibes. This guy on the pitch with any team, on the bench with any team, on the team, he gives the team hope. He gives them, he influences them. He inspires them. He is a leader, and I don't think that I think that for me personally, I would love to be able to see him play in another World Cup. Will we see the same Messi that we did in the last World Cup? Maybe, maybe not. Will we see something better? Maybe. Who knows? But the thing is that this man adapts. And I think that's what makes him so great, is because, as a coach, I always talk to my players about understanding what their limitations are. If you're not a good dribbler, don't dribble. If you're not a good, if you're not good with, you have to understand what your strengths and what your weaknesses are in order to be a good player and perform at a high level. That doesn't mean that you're bad. That just means that you're very aware. And for me, Messi, Alex was talking about this earlier. He was talking about, the PSG team and the humility that they have. And Carl, you and I have talked about this before, but you remember when Guardiola got rid of when he let Ronaldinho go, everybody was like, what the heck are you doing? This is the best player in the world. He says, because no one player can be bigger than the team.
Correct.
And the thing is Messi doesn't think that he's bigger than the team.
No.
The whole team lifts him up, and they respect him, and they give him that title, but he doesn't even know it. I mean, I've heard this before. Messi doesn't even know that he's Messi.
That's true.
But I believe that's why that greatness is from within. That greatness comes from within, and there's no limits to what this man can achieve. And I'm really excited to see what the future holds also for him.
Yeah.
So
as a fan.
So here's my take on Messi, right? And you just like you say, Coach, you say Maradona was like poetry, right? But I think with Messi, he gives us that feelings that we never know existed. It's just like that one thing that you love, it gives you that feelings that you didn't even know that you had those feelings, right?
Yeah.
So that's what Messi does to you. So, to be 37 years old, I mean, think about while we were talking, I saw a goal that he scored, the second goal that he scored. I mean, that was vintage Messi. Like, it was the goal that it is similar of the goal that he scored against Arsenal back in the days. It was the same goal that he scored against AC Milan back in the day. It's just like Hugo Lloris has no way to get that ball. I mean, put that ball in a way that only Messi knows how to put that. And for me, it's just like when you won everything that you ever won in life, and then to still have that hunger to play with that much hunger, to play with that much passion. I mean, Messi scored a goal. His passion, it's ridiculous, right? So for me, it just, it's amazing to me. And, it's amazing to see a 37-year-old guy just dribbling around people like they're just nobody. You just dribble around those guys like, they ain't nobody. I think, obviously people can say that I'm a Messi homer, but what I'm seeing, I think we should enjoy it. And we don't know how long it's going to last, but we should enjoy it. So, Alex, you got the last word, man.
I just want to say, I mean, I remember I was watching Messi, and it's just like, I just couldn't believe I was watching Messi. Like, I was in the stands with my dad looking at Messi, and I'm like,
Is it
I
real?
have to be dreaming. It's just the way he was playing in that match too. It's like it was just a friendly, but he's just so ecstatic. You know, like
Yeah.
Ronaldo, he's not like that. Like he's
Uh-oh.
39, 40. You know, people are saying, "Oh my gosh, he's scoring at 40." But he's not scoring like that. He's scoring little tap-ins that his teammates do, and he thinks he's the best player in the world. But Messi, he's a humble person. He's not like Ronaldo. Ronaldo, that's why his teammates don't like him anymore.
Oh boy.
His
Oh
teammates
boy.
don't like
Hey,
him anymore.
Alex.
He's not
Touchy
good.
subject here. Touchy subject, Alex.
He has a little
Alex.
bit big of an ego, but he's just doing
Haterade,
his
man.
thing.
He's drinking that haterade, man.
Messi's just a chill guy, you know. Messi's just a chill guy. He's just doing his thing, living day by day, you know, just doing his thing. But Ronaldo's just like he's so full of himself, and he's like, "Oh, I'm 40." No, Messi's 37. You know,
No,
he's like
but
he's practically the same age,
no,
and he's not over there like racking money, and he's not even like he's playing some
man,
good
Alex
money,
is on
some
fire.
good football. You know, like
Alex is on
come
fire
on.
tonight.
No,
Alex is on fire. Boy,
so,
Alex, woo!
coach,
Alex, man, you on fire,
coach,
man. You on
yeah,
fire.
something I wanted to add, Alex, is it's amazing to me that today, for example, I was watching Chicago Fire versus Inter Miami in Chicago, and you can see the Soldier Field full. I'm talking about an MLS game, and people are chanting Messi when he was about to take a free kick. You know, it's an away game, but you feel like this game was in Miami. This
I
is
know
Messi.
it. That's how it was. Like
That's,
it's like
you know,
every time he
it's
touches that
crazy.
ball, it's Messi. You
It's
know, it's
messy,
just
and to think about it, we're not talking about the La Liga. We're talking about Bernabeu, those stadium, in the Soldier Field. You know, people like almost. I don't remember, but how many attendees, but almost
Almost 63,000. Almost
63,000
63,000.
just to see Messi. So again, Alex, I agree. This guy, I think we just blessed and fortunate to live in a time where we can see that type of player. And that's why I can say that Messi is definitely, yeah. I agree, Alex. You're gonna get a
Alex,
lot of pushback after that show, but I agree with you.
Alex,
gotta
someday
move
you're
on.
going to be able to tell your kids that you were able to watch Messi play.
Yes.
We gotta
and
move
you know,
on, guys.
I was at the stadium and I looked at every jersey and it was all Messi. Like I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it was Orlando versus Inter Miami. You know, Orlando was like a few minutes away from Tampa, and every jersey you saw was blue, white, black, and pink. That's it. Just blue,
Alex.
and then once in a while you saw some blue and red. But yeah,
Alex, we gotta move on, man. We gotta go back
yeah.
to memory lane with Thomas Hassler. So if
Hassler.
some of you know
Oof.
him, is from
Oof.
Germany. This
Yeah.
guy. Look at this.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Wasn't he like a right back?
No,
No,
he was
no,
like
no.
center
Asa
mid.
was a midfielder.
He was a
Yeah, center
midfielder.
mid. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like
I remember
almost like
Hassler.
a number 10. He
Yeah.
played as a number 10 as a central midfielder
Yes.
for
Oh my
so many
goodness.
teams, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Old school,
that
man.
was
Right
the
there.
goal for Germany. So
He played for Juventus, Dortmund. Yeah, great players.
yeah, I wish my boy Reggie was here because Reggie is a Germany fan,
Germany,
and he would appreciate to see that today we're talking about Thomas Hassler as a memory lane. So JD, I know I was showing some video here. What's your memory of Thomas Hassler?
Oh my! It's simple. It's the European, the Euro 1996, and
Yep.
also the World Cup in 1990. So he was the number 10, if you want, for Germany. And this guy, the thing about him, he's really short, but
Yeah.
you cannot, you cannot take that ball away from him. So that was the thing about him. And I remember that team, with him, Matthaus, Bremer. He was a legendary German side, and I think he was very instrumental to that team's success at that time. Yeah, great midfielder.
Yeah, it was a great midfielder. It's so funny that when you start looking at Germany, and they were so rigid, right? They were like,
Hmm.
they come in. It looked like they were like robots, like the way they play. They just come in and play and play and play and play. So
Hmm.
I remember Thomas Asler was the first guy that I saw playing with flair. Like
Hmm.
he was
For
like
Germany.
he was so good. Like he didn't play like a German.
No, you
I
would
think
think
that
he's Brazilian.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think that I mean, when you look at it, when you're looking at the German team now, they kind of you see a lot of his plays into those guys now. So I think that he was the pioneer of the beautiful German soccer, right? So when you look at it, when you see the other guys, they were like good, they were solid, but Thomas Hassler was the one that was shifty. He was doing all kind of stuff. So that's why for me is that's my memory of him. He was. I mean, he kind of reminded me, because at the time, we have Maradona, right?
Maradona.
And then you were looking at for somebody that kind of reminded you of Maradona and then he kind of reminded me of him because obviously of his stature. He was a short guy, and the way he was moving, the way he was passing the ball, and then he made people like us that were right-footed, happy because he was right-footed, right? So I mean, I wasn't old enough to watch Zico because Zico was kind of that kind of same player, but to see him playing, uh, it was great to watch. Uh, Alex, it told me you were 3 years old, man, in 2018. Uh,
No, I was 5. I was 5 in 2018, and I was watching Messi for your information. I was I was watching Messi at 5 years old. All right, I just want to
Wow.
throw that out. But yeah, I mean, I have absolutely no memory. This is like way
that's
before
your
I was
time.
born. Like
Well, it was
I
way before
Uh,
your time.
You,
So
you make
this
us
is
I
look
think
so young,
this
Alex.
is
Thank
what we
you.
love about this is what we love about this show, right? So it's for people like Alex when we talk about those memory lanes. So hopefully we're gonna start talking about guys that Alex can see. Yeah, I watch that guy, right? But that's one thing that because in order for you to understand the game or love the game, you gotta know the history of the game, right? So I think having those memory lanes. So Alex, you can go back, you can go on YouTube and watch and then see for yourself. So I think those are the memory we want to bring. So you can watch more and then you can study more, know the history of the game. So this is great. So Alex, please go watch it tonight. Uh, so I don't know what's going on with Alan today. He said, "I'm not missing another show. We definitely need this balance on this pro Messi Argentina show."
No,
Oh
no,
boy!
no, 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 no,
Ah,
no.
oh boy!
Hey,
Oh boy!
hey,
Oh boy! Oh
Ale,
boy!
next time you can come and we can talk. Oh yeah, I'm definitely not a
Yeah, I
Argentinian
got, I
fan.
got,
So,
I got my Argentina shirt on.
oh my
so
God, I think
Uh,
Alex and I were not Argentinian fans. So,
no.
but anyway, uh, okay, let's do a quick wrap up. JD, what's the biggest soccer news we have over the weekend?
no, I think biggest soccer news is what happened in the major leagues in Europe. Again, you have Arsenal that dropped some points, and the race for the Champions League for Champions League spots in England is tidying up. You have like four teams after Arsenal, between Newcastle, Manchester City, Aston Villa, all this, and Chelsea, they all fighting for those spots. And in La Liga, Barcelona still hold 4 points. They had Madrid, and you have in Serie A, like we were mentioning, Inter is still leading. So I think that's the main thing. What we in terms of what happened in Europe, here in the United States, again, we talk about Inter Miami. They have a draw today with Chicago Fire, and in Brazil we have the Serie A, the first division that started about 2 weeks ago, and then there's some good games this weekend. But I think we can also focus on what will happen next week. What a week ahead we have in terms of football and what can happen, especially in the Champions League, but also in here in the MLS and other leagues. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of MLS, I wanna send a shout out to one of our own Fort Wayne native, Akil Watts. He played today against Columbus. He played for St. Louis, so he came in the game today and played as a right back. As a matter of fact, I was getting ready for this show, so I was preparing all the content for the show. So I didn't have a chance to watch him play live. So I'm glad that he got the opportunity to play today. It's funny that I remember him playing in high school. So just
Nice.
yeah. So I'm gonna give you a little. I remember I was coaching Bishop Dwenger at the time, and he was a freshman. And
Nice.
and then when we play against him, that freshman class was probably one of the strongest class I ever seen in my life, or I ever coached against. And then when I saw him, he was a freshman, 15 years old. He was so ahead of the game. He was so ahead of the game. And when we play him, I remember when we play him, we did everything we could, and we still could play against those teams. They were so good. And I remember we lost against Canterbury in sectional, and I was in the bus, getting ready to go back to school, and the only thought I had in my head, I was like, man, how am I going to stop those guys in the next 3 years? So that's how great he was. I was like, there's no way we're going to stop those guys in the next 3 years. We're going to have to play those guys for the next 3 years. But, the following year, he ended up moving to IMG Academy. So I'm glad to see he's doing well. Glad to see that he's playing. So shout out to him. So if you
I
see,
got
yeah, go ahead.
Carl, I got it. No, just a quick little story about Akil. So, so I used to coach his older brother Britt when he was like 9, 10 years old. He's the same age as Alex, my son. And I remember during halftimes watching Akil when he was probably 6 years old, 5, 6, 7 years old, something like that. And he would go out and he would just, you know how kids always go out and they want to shoot at the goal. And he would just go out there and he would shoot and he would shoot and he would shoot. And then the kid at that age, man, you could just tell that he loved the game. He loved the ball. He would shoot until the referee had to say, hey, you got to get off because we got to come back on the field to play the second half. So I agree with you. To see him now and he's playing professionally. And I know their family, the Watts family, the mom, the dad, and obviously Britt. Great family, good people, and I'm glad to see him doing so well.
Yeah, it's good. All right, so we had a great show tonight. So it was fun as always. I know Alex didn't want any type of peace in here because he was talking about Ronaldo and Messi. We love it. But thank you guys. Thank you for a great show tonight. We had fun. It was fun, and I think the fun continues since we have a lot of soccer left. right? After we still have the Champions League. Champions League. We had the FIFA World Club coming up. We have the Gold Cup. Man, as soccer fans, we're gonna be spoiled for the next couple of months. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for your time tonight. Appreciate you. So, I'll see you guys next week.
All right, guys.
See you guys. Take care.
Take care.
They said dads can't stay fit. We disagreed. Fit Dad Community began with a simple idea: empowering fathers to lead, inspire, and thrive. Transform your routine with our exclusive collection, crafted for your active lifestyle. Ready to join our tribe and redefine fatherhood? Shop now and save, because being strong never goes out of style.